Morning everyone, Cassie and Matt here with Cassie and Matt Real Estate and CIR Realty. We thought we'd pop on and do an update here in March since we haven't been on for a little bit and talk a little bit about what happened in February, what's going on here in the next month, and spring's just around the corner, the market's starting to pick up. We're definitely seeing a lot of activity. So in February, what we were seeing was a little bit of an interesting market dynamic. The inventory is lowest it's been since 2006 across the Calgary region. And interest rates increased again in January, and we've seen higher interest rates through the later part of 2022. So those market dynamics have created some interesting things. What we're seeing is a shift in what buyers are looking at. So they're typically leaning towards lower price point products. So maybe if you were looking at a detached home, now you're looking at a row home, or if you were looking at a row home, now you're looking at a condo, and making some of those considerations. The same home that sold last year for X price is now increased in price this year. So the benchmark pricing is typically up. Price of home is increasing with this low inventory situation, because there is still some competition going on. So for Calgary, as an example, sales were down 47%. Inventory was down 27%. So the lower inventory resulting in lower sales is the market dynamic there. But the benchmark price of a home in Calgary increased by 1.5% versus last year in February. So homes are worth a little bit more than they were last year still. We're still seeing it as primarily a seller's market. There was 1,740 homes sold in Calgary versus 3,293 last February. In those markets where it's very competitive on the lower end of the price scale, say under 600,000, we're still seeing multiple bids. We're still seeing bidding wars. We're still seeing things go over list price, or people coming in with very few conditions attached to their offer. It's a very competitive market in that lower price point detached market. And even when we look at homes that are $1 million plus, that's a very competitive market too. We've seen homes sell as quickly as a couple of days in that $1 million plus market. And, we've had situations where people have made offers with sale of home conditions, and then, somebody else is coming in and offering on that property as well in a couple of days without having a sale of home condition. So very competitive market. Okotoks sales were down 43%, but there was only 53 homes for sale all across Okotoks. And that means that, again, very competitive. When a well-priced, nice home comes on the market, there's 15 people lined up to see it. And we've experienced that and seen those homes go for $50,000, $75,000 over what they were listed for. And so what that's resulted in is an increase in the benchmark price for Okotoks of 3.2%. So a home that sold for X dollars last year is now 3.2% more expensive this year. Same with High River, 43% drop in sales, but only 32 homes on the market, 6% increase in benchmark pricing. Diamond Valley, one of the few markets where sales are up over last year, but they're still very low because there wasn't a lot last year for sale in Diamond Valley. There's Turner Valley portion of that market. There's not enough inventory to keep up with demand, and the Black Diamond portion of that market barely keeping up with demand. And so for Diamond Valley, Turner Valley was up 8.4% in benchmark price, and Black Diamond was up 7.4%. So the better part of almost 10% increase in prices year over year in that market. So really good news story if you're a seller over there. What's the moral of the story overall? Well, as a buyer, to find your dream home, you've got to be ready to write an attractive offer, prepared to compete with other people to get it, and have a strategy about what happens in the time in between you writing the offer, getting it accepted, and moving into your new home. And that might mean renting. That might mean, some creative ideas for a little bit if the possession dates don't line up exactly because the seller is still in the driver's seat right now. As a seller, you need to know where you're planning to go. Sale of home conditions, still really tricky in this market. If you're moving to a market where it's a little bit slower, they can work. But if you're in Calgary and you're in an in-demand market and you've got a home to sell first, the likelihood that we're going to be able to get your offer accepted is pretty low. So you've got to have a strategy. You got to talk to us and figure out what's the right way to move forward. So let Cassie talk a little bit about what's happening.
Awesome. Well, that pretty much summarizes the basics. I'm going to do a tip sheet here and throw it out to you guys in the next few days. Just as a buyer, like what can you do to buy in a low inventory market? Some of the tips that we've kind of worked through with buyers, looking at, like Matt was saying, different products, like so maybe moving to a row home or a semi-detached style home if you've got to be in that same neighborhood. And then we've also seen some gravitation out of the location that they originally were searching in, maybe going to a neighboring community or a neighboring town, just a little bit further out to get their needs met with the product that they're looking at, right? So we've got one of those that's worked out for us. They were looking at Okotoks. Now they found something in High River. So those types of things do happen. The other thing too is new builds, new products that are built by the builders are an option. We also found a home there for some buyers that's going to be a new build that they'll be moving in April, May timeframe there for possession. So you can still phone us and we can help you through the process with builders. We do that. We've had experience with doing that in the past, and we're doing it again in this market as some of the builders do have some products available that might possibly work. So that's been an option there too for buyers. Sellers, I would say don't delay. I know there's still kind of a few that think, oh, like I'll just list at the end of March. Really, there's nothing holding you back from getting your photos done and getting ready to go now. Like Matt's saying, the inventory is low. So you're in an advantage situation if you are a seller and you want to enter the market right now. Give us a shout and we'll walk you through the process. Awesome. Thanks for joining us and have a wonderful day.